In the big bilge tank, we'll keep you in the know. In the big bilge tank, we'll fix your techie woes.
And we'll break things and we'll make things till we're all together raking and
We'll raise a cup of grog down in the big bilge tank. In the big bilge tank, come and join our pirate crew. In the big bilge tank,
We will show you what to do.
and we'll hack it till we crack it.
And we'll tell the world about it and forget to tidy up.
That's why it's now a bilge tank.
Hello and welcome to episode 006 of the Bilge Tank.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. We're going to have a quick look at the Genuino 101 to start with. That was the big news from Make a Fair Rome. The Arduino guys, the good Arduino, which is arduino.cc, announced the launch of the Genuino 101, which is a new... Can we get this screen up? We have a new toy today. We can live show you things. Brilliant.
It's just like browsing, but over a live stream on the internet through YouTube in a little window.
Yeah, so more efficient than using Firefox is what you're saying.
Yep.
Yeah, cool. So this is the Genuino 101, which is, it was announced at Make a Fair Rome this weekend, and it's a partnership between Arduino and Intel again. I think it's a bit more interesting than the other partnerships that have happened recently with the Galileo and things like
That's
that.
where they stapled a Galileo, an Arduino and an Atom together, was it?
Basically, yeah. I think you could. I think they put extra holes in the PCB so that staple would just go straight through and hold them together.
Yeah, there were a few bugbears with that.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest problems was the fact that all the I/O was done through essentially external chips. So they had essentially I/O expanders, which meant that the performance of the I/O was a lot worse than kind of native hardware.
Yeah.
That you were used to with the Arduino.
Well, they went away and they rethought it a bit, and this seems to be the result.
They did, and this looks way more interesting. This is based on the Intel Curry, which is basically it's their kind of attack vector, if you like, for the maker market.
Can we do the snooker annotation thing now?
Yeah, we can. We can totally do
Okay,
that.
snooker annotations.
Let's have it.
So, it's totally reset you up.
There we go.
You have
Okay.
failed.
So this is the Intel Curry, and it is basically, I believe it's two cores. One is more like a classic processing core, and the other one offloads all the hardware functionality. So that's the bit that's a bit more like your classic AVR. Interestingly, they've added... at first I was really worried that these guys were going to be I/O expanders and the performance issues would still be there from the Galileo. But actually, looking them up, they are just 8-channel level shifters.
Okay.
Which makes a lot of sense, and they're not cheap either. They're like 50 pence each, so 3 of them on the board. I mean, that's like Mouser pricing, but I'm sure Intel can get better deals.
Someone from the chat pointed out that's a USB-B connector on there, which actually I didn't notice, but what on earth is going on?
It is, and someone said the same thing on Hackaday, but I think like the Arduino guys have enough information to know what works, and using this kind of stuff in a classroom environment, that kind of connector is so much more robust. So it's, I mean, they're not using it for
kind of
There'll
chucking
be
in
printers
there.
everywhere
That's
with stolen cables, and no one will be able to print anything.
Well, that's a good thing. All printers suck. But yeah, I don't think it's a bad connector. I mean, we wouldn't have put that on there, but you can see it's a sensible choice for some environments. It's quite nice they still have the external power, so they've still got a DC jack, which accepts 7 to 12 volts, which is kind of handy.
For Mundo power, yeah.
The really cool thing about this is that the Intel Curry contains a 6-axis accelerometer / gyro, and also provides Bluetooth LE. So on this board, I think they're kind of pitching this as the next generation of Uno almost.
Yeah.
Massive change, obviously, but now you get a built-in accelerometer and you get Bluetooth LE, and that's pretty awesome.
Okay, so this is going to be about 50 quid, right?
They say £20, and I'll believe it when I see it. But apparently, £20.
£20 would be really good.
It would be. I mean, they've stuck to the Shield spec, including the misspaced headers. Fair enough, but I can't quite see how that many shields are going to be compatible. The hardware seems so different that it would. You can only imagine it be a struggle.
They placed analog where the analog is and PWM where the PWM is.
Well, it only has 4 PWM channels.
Oh, so
it's different to start with. It does have 6 analog channels. But it's just like the hardware interfaces, things like I2C and all of those kind of things. Are they going to be in the same place? I don't know.
I guess we should find out since we have a Shield in development.
So it's got the x86 stuff.
It has. Let me just look this up because we may be saying it wrong. It's a Quark core, which is, I believe, x86, and I believe it's based on the Pentium 4, essentially.
But there's no kind of display output, so You're not
No.
going to be running Office on this or anything.
Oh no.
Yeah,
No,
because every time I hear x86, it's kind of immediately, will it run a desktop? Will it run a desktop?
Yeah.
It was the same with the Windows 10 Internet of Things stuff on the Pi, and yeah, it ain't going to run a desktop.
I mean, the main reason you wouldn't be running anything like Windows is it's got 380k of flash and like 92k of RAM, of SRAM, I think. I have to check
Right.
that. The specs for the
See,
Arduino are slightly different than the
They
chip
could have
itself.
put at least 640k in there just for historical
Well,
reasons.
yeah, it's enough for anyone, right?
Yeah.
But it's interesting, and it's clocked to 32 megahertz. So yeah, I don't know. It will be really
Modest.
interesting to see. Basically, this whole thing with kind of offloading the hardware stuff onto like almost like a second mini microcontroller, whether that makes sense in because the Arduino's meant to be accessible and easy to use. So long as they can kind of wrap that up and hide what's going on.
Yeah. They're talking
It could work
real-time
pretty well.
operating systems here as well. That's good news.
Yeah, basically, I believe this runs a real-time OS, which then the Arduino kind of layer sits on top, which is why the specs for the Genuino, like the 196 kilobytes of flash, is quite a lot lower than the chip itself, which is 384 kilobytes. And there's like a layer of stuff underneath, and then you've got your kind of Arduino
Let me
layer
show
on
you
top.
what I'm browsing here.
So,
Ooh,
given
Sorry,
that
you can just see us on Bilge Tank just staring at a
Staring
screen,
at the screen.
and you can't see what we're looking
I
at.
love this thing. It's a Surface. We're so hipster. We've gone through Apple MacBooks and out the other
we're
side.
now back to
Yeah.
that.
But yeah, we basically got it because it's pen input, which is kind of handy for this.
Yeah,
Um,
doing scoreboards and things.
So, given that this is a real-time operating system and it's already doing a lot of abstraction, MicroPython?
Almost certainly. There's no reason why not, and in fact, it's quite well spec'd for that. I would imagine it would take some work because
And
obviously
as it's
their code
going
base
to
is
be a
designed for
reasonably
ARM.
popular sort of name brand board as well, that hopefully will gravitate people towards it.
It could. I'd love to try and get hold of the actual Intel Curry and have a play with it. It's a weird little package. It's like two little strips of BGAs, something like an 8x3 balls on each end, or 12x3 or something.
That
and then
sounds like
it's like a little
something
spanning
we
bridge.
might be able to do.
Yeah,
We've
it's
done
possible.
BGA successfully on our pick and place here. So BGA, just loads of little solder balls on the bottom of the chip, which means that when you solder it in your production line, it's very hard to check what actually happened because you can't see under the chip. You need X-ray stuff to do that.
Yeah.
We don't have X-ray stuff.
You need basically really good process to do it, don't you?
Yeah.
Because you just need to know that everything you do is going to be bang on, and you're essentially not going to have that many problems with it, which is cool. But anyway, I think this is an interesting one because it's a bit of a change of direction. The previous Intel Arduino stuff was a bit meh. We weren't that interested. This one I'm kind of chomping to get at it. It's coming Q1 2016.
Okay, yeah.
So
About the same time as we get our Genuino stock, right?
hopefully
back to us yet?
we are talking to them.
Yay!
We are actually talking to them now,
Yeah.
which is good.
Yeah. Thanks for that, Massimo and Tom and the crew. We're looking forward to having Genuinos.
Yeah, so that's it. And if you're interested in the Genuino 101, we've added it as a new product on the shop so you can sign up for notifications. So obviously we have no stock, it's not a pre-order, but we'll send you an email when we get them in stock.
Yeah, best way of doing things.
Cool.
Rather than people saying, is it there yet? Is it there yet?
I believe this was your purchase.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what we have here is a very nice Peli case. And in fact, no, this isn't actually a Peli case. It's something that looks like a Peli case, but Peli cases are pretty legendary, and this looks like a fair imitation of one. So fair play to this Kickstarter that we finally got. They were kind of pals because they started around the same time as Slice and all that. When I was out in China for Maker Faire Shenzhen last year, I bumped into the OTTO guys from Next Thing Co. And now it's finally here in all its glory. And I've never seen a product so well done, apart from Slice, of course, on Kickstarter. Yeah. Here we go. This is an animated GIF camera with a Raspberry Pi inside. So, could you stick it up on the close-up?
Ooh, around about here. Oh, no, we haven't.
Sorry.
Oh,
Apologies.
here we go.
That's got a compute module inside, and if I can dig out my tools, we might have a look inside in a bit and see what's in there. But that is compute module and a camera and a load of other things like a nice rotary encoder. So if you press the slidey thing, it's got like an old school push it down and it pops up. Look at that. And then you turn it and it's a nice
no, it
rotary
popped up.
encoder.
Let's see
And
what
it feels like old school film winding. And this takes skills, it takes animated GIFs, and they're really quite Instagram friendly. And just the whole finish of the aluminium and the plastic and the detail on here is just brilliant. So thanks for that, OTTO. Thanks for that, Next Thing Co. That's a nice implementation of a compute module product.
I mean, it's completely bonkers, right?
It's completely
Everything you
bonkers,
said
yeah.
is true, but it is insane.
Yeah.
But we kind of love it for that very reason.
Yeah, just the love they put into it, because they do a lot of love in these things.
Is the Allen key back in the box? I
Yeah,
think
it's
I put it back in the box.
Oh, there we go.
They've got some really nice touches. So the little viewfindery thing up here actually has an OLED display behind it.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's very nice.
And when you take pictures, that display kind of flashes in a random colour.
I think as you
so it's very
wind it
kid-friendly.
around, it winds an arrow around the outside of the display, which is the length of the GIF you're taking, maybe, and then when you stop, it saves it.
Right.
You know. I think that's what I figure. I have no idea how it
It
works.
feels like a lot of fun. Yeah, we respect anyone who puts that much love into making things like this.
Definitely.
I
I'm
think
going to have to
bolts.
give this to my daughter to play with and just see what she comes back
And
with.
her first camera.
I know.
Yeah.
I bet she'd have a blast with it. It'll be
I probably
crazy.
don't get
She's
any
what, like
image
3 now?
feedback, which is
I think she's 3, but I think she can get the size of these bolts. They're like 1.5 inches long. It's amazing.
Sweet.
Yeah, it's really kind of cool. It's heavy.
Love this. I feel like
Robust.
we're a bit like iFixit now.
Yeah. Pass me the spudger. I'm going in.
Oh, I forgot my spudger. You
Oh,
have
here we
to
go,
jimmy the
here we
back
go.
off, not the bottom.
Ooh.
Okay.
The big reveal.
Ta-da. Hey, you can
Let's have a
upgrade
look.
the RAM.
So, I mean, the thing that mostly interested us about this, I think, is the fact it's running on the Raspberry Pi compute module, which is just kind of cool. But yeah, the hardware in here is
Can you
kind
show
of
them
crazy.
the bottom of the LED displays?
I don't,
Oh, I
yeah,
know
just,
that's-
where's it?
The daughter board's in there, yeah.
Yeah, it says something
say?
cool though. The little OLEDs thing. Oh yeah, the PCB just has a little gold silk screen on it that says "fancy screen."
Fancy
Fancy screen. Well, fancy that.
Yeah.
But it's like, I mean, it's kind of a crazily awesomely engineered thing. This is the
Yeah.
kind of thing that if it, you could totally imagine something with the same features being cheap garbage in a toy Christmas fad thing.
And you
But they've
would
just done it
respect it.
awesomely. Yeah, they've just made like an awesome version.
It's the same way these kind of Polaroid cameras are becoming popular again. Now they're not making them like ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
always
just
a good
it's just
start.
it's just a crazy little thing. I don't know what the micro B here is for. Is that for?
Oh, that's for hacking and stuff.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Does that get you? Is that RPi boot onto the compute module basically?
Probably, yeah, stuff like that. They've got stuff
Ooh.
going on. Next Thing Co tend to have a lot of SDKs on their website for this sort of thing because they have good
Oh,
software
let's pop
people.
let's pop the compute module out and have a look.
Oh wow!
Boing.
I'm saying it wow, but we've seen a lot of compute modules.
Can you show the boys and girls?
Yeah, stick it on.
Look at that.
There you go. It says take more photos. Down at the bottom.
Oh,
Which
the
is
little
kind of
hidden thing.
That's complex. I mean, their board is more complicated than the compute module. that's some pretty cool stuff.
It's
What's
toit.
actually on
There's a
it?
lot of dedication that went into creating an animated GIF camera. Anyway, we'll take some videos with this and we'll put them on the blog post.
Yep.
We haven't had a chance to actually kind of play with it yet.
Oh, it's
so.
turned on.
Oh wow!
I think it's always turned on, right?
Yeah.
Not
I
when
actually
you're
charged
making
the
a
battery.
compute module out of it, it's not at home.
Yeah.
No, it'll be fine. We've got a lot of compute modules.
Okay. Right. Let's
One
shove
or
that
two.
back in the box and
Yeah, don't let
Fix
John
it
do
later.
that again.
yeah. Okay. Brilliant.
Your bolts, sir.
Thank you very much. I'll
OTTO was a Kickstarter, but I think, is that a product now? Can you buy that?
I don't know. They're just delivering. I think
Fine,
they're
yeah.
just happy to deliver.
It's kind of cool. We love it. And the other thing we've got to show you today, so quite exciting that we've been working on. One thing that we are kind of perpetually asked is, do we have a robot chassis?
Yep.
The answer now is yes. It's not available yet, but we've been working on this for quite a while. This is our little get-up called the STS Pi. So you can basically take your Pi. You don't have to use an Explorer hat, but obviously it works well with that. The entire kit is put together with a screwdriver. There's no soldering at all. Even the motors have like a custom adapt. Well, they don't on this version, but there's a custom adapter board that means that they just become push headers for jumper jerky. So this is our kind of pitch at a really kind of reasonably priced little motor chassis for the Pi, really.
Yeah. Pi Star and a reasonably priced robot chassis.
Indeed.
Yeah.
There's little slots on the front which lets you mount your Pi camera, so it can be kind of forward facing. And obviously with like a Wi-Fi dongle and a battery, you can turn it into something completely remote. Phil's got a little demo, I think.
I've built myself a turtle which does kind of work.
Cool.
So I figure there's enough buttons to give you a turn
Oh,
left,
you're actually doing that.
go
right.
forwards, go backwards and turn right.
Yeah.
It's got a 16-step sequencer in, so you can create 16 steps of instructions and then hit
Okay.
play. This is heavily inspired, of course, by Ryan's robot kit, which when he first came out with it, had a kind of turtle style thing in. So hopefully, like we've got enough buttons to do the 4 directions, play and stop, and these 2, which I've unlabeled, I figured out would be good to do forwards and backwards to step through the different sequences that we've got.
Okay.
Or
Oh,
step through the steps.
Debugging your step.
So
Like
we
it.
can say go forwards, go backwards, go forwards, go backwards, to left, to right, and play. Play buttons.
Whoa.
So we go forwards, go backwards, go backwards, turn left, turn right, and it will repeat this pattern over and over and over again
That's
until
kind of
you
cool.
press stop.
It's got little LEDs going away, showing you what step it's running. That's quite sweet, Phil. When I said set up a demo of this and you were like 30 minutes later you were still doing it, I was thinking, what's he doing? But you've actually written a programming language, so well done. That's excellent.
That's pretty good, yeah. I don't think we have a final price on that yet.
We don't. Let's get it listed this week, I think. But
Yeah,
it
we'll
won't
have it
be.
up on the shop.
It'll be available very soon. It comes as a kit of very Pibo style slices. So you put together your little STS Pi. You'll need a small Phillips screwdriver, a small flathead screwdriver. All the parts will be included. So the wheels, the motor brackets, the caster, the motors themselves. The only thing that you add is the Pi and the Explorer hat or whatever motor driver you want to use.
Yeah, anything that can drive a H-bridge style motor is probably good fodder for this.
Yeah, that'd be ideal, wouldn't it?
Yeah, the motors take up to 6 volts is good at the max.
These ones are fine up to 6 volts at least.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it's a cool little kit. And we've had this. Oh man, we made the first version of this like 6-7 months ago, and we just
Longer
there was
even than that.
literally just the fact that we had to solder wires to the motor has held us back from doing it.
Yeah.
But we've come up with a solution for that now. So as soon as those kind of add-on brackets that we'll fix ourselves here at the workshop are in stock, we can start kitting these up and making them available. So yeah, keep an eye on the website. That's coming soon.
Brilliant.
Cool little project, and it looks cool. Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, STS Pi.
STS Pi to infinity and beyond.
Yeah,
And then I think we're going on to some new products.
new products, right?
Woo, woo.
Title time!
New stuff.
And for all you people who were kind of deafened last week, that was 12 decibels quieter.
I hope you're happy.
I hope you're happy.
Sandy McDonald.
Yeah.
See if we've got any comments about it being too loud.
We'd have to wait 10 seconds.
Oh, we would at least.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Never mind.
we'll leave them to it.
We'll wait for the kind of ag.
So we tweeted about these this week, and there
Yep.
was like massively popular reception to it, which is surprising for a tiny lump of plastic.
Yeah.
But basically, we've had some shaft adapters made. Oh, we don't have any Lego in here.
We've got a
This was
demo
not well
motor, but we
thought
haven't
forward.
got any demo Lego.
Essentially, our standard stock motors we use for everything are these little micrometal gear motors, and we love them because they're both small, they're reasonably cheap, and you can get them in different gearing ratios, so you can kind of swap out faster and slower versions.
There's a bit of Lego over there.
And we've made these little custom shaft adapters so that you can integrate them into your Lego projects. They're dead handy. And
Okay. I think we can do a spinning bird if we're quick.
let's give them the spinning bird.
Right, get
Okay.
over here.
Here we go. Oh, Phil, are you really
Spinning
going to give
turtle
this a go? Let's go.
Yeah.
I've got to get the adapter off now. Flip, man.
Makers, man.
You've got 3
Makers.
others
I've got
there.
3 more. Hold on.
So you get 4 of these adapters in the pack, and these are injection moulded in the UK, made in the UK by Andy Harsley. This is part of the kind of benefit we got from doing Flotilla. But these things are just so cool, we thought just get them out there.
Yeah.
We'll chuck these into Flotilla as well, but we thought a lot of people would enjoy hacking them sooner.
This is the primary use case for
Yeah.
this product. Oh man, I love it. That's
My love is
brilliant.
complete.
Whether he's coming or going. So yeah, they're pretty
Yeah.
robust.
They're in a pack of 4, I think you said. Yeah,
Yep.
you get a pack of 4 of these, and they cost £3. So
Yep.
just dead handy if you want to put motors into your Lego projects.
Yeah, if this first batch goes down, well, we'll make some more. Hopefully that'll make them a little bit cheaper to make, because at the moment we're paying for things like the mould as well and stuff like that, which is always the hardest thing about injection moulded stuff. The mould costs just a heck of a lot.
It's the upfronts, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's kind of in addition to that, though these aren't listed yet, we've also got custom motor brackets. Have you got a close-up camera? There we go. So we have our little custom motor brackets with the little Pimoroni pirates, which you can
Just see
just
that.
barely see, I think. So these will be coming on the store soon as well.
Yep.
Which is nice. And they're going to be part of the STS Pi kit, and we're also using those guys in Flotilla.
Yep.
So that's kind of awesome.
And they'll come with their screws as well, just so you can mount them to any kind of M2.5 hole, pretty much.
Yeah, and we should get a diagram up on the site so that people got like a mounting diagram to work
When you
off.
want to laser cut your own stuff at your local hackspace.
Or just drill it.
Drill it?
Yeah.
That's about old school.
Well, yeah. But,
What if you get it wrong, John?
Well, drill twice, measure once.
Okay.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
And last up today, we have another little custom job that we put together. The Raspberry Pi display, while being awesome, I can't line this up. There we go. By default, you back power it from the GPIO of the Pi, which means the GPIO isn't available. So we decided to go out and get some cables made up that splits a single USB power supply, micro B, into 2 USB micro B connectors.
Woohoo!
Dead handy. It just makes your display a little bit tidier. You can also use them to charge things like 2 Android phones at the same time, or basically power any. As long as you keep within 2 amps
HDMI
total.
Pi today as well, so power HDMI Pi and Pi in the same thing.
Oh, there you go.
Being all connected up together.
Cool.
Rated for 2 amps and just dead handy. Specifically for this, but other things
Yep.
as well.
One of the cables has power-only connections. One is supposed to have data as well.
Yes.
You have to ask them logical questions to work out which one is which.
Yeah, basically.
Or just plug it in and see what
You have to figure that out yourself.
Puzzle.
But there is the data connection through one of the cables. Obviously,
Yep.
it's not a complete hub, so yeah, only one of the lines has data going along it.
Yep.
There we go.
Any
We
questions?
have one question on the forums, yes.
Mhm.
From PCs for Me. He says, "Hi, I built an Explorer Hat robot with an ultrasonic sensor and want to integrate NeoPixels into the project. How can I get the Raspberry Pi to control a Trinket to light up the NeoPixels whenever the Explorer Hat detects the robot is about to hit something?"
Cool project.
It's a cool project. Highly relevant as well.
Very relevant. Well, I'd say you wouldn't need the Trinket
We
really.
wouldn't need the Trinket, no.
No.
We've broken out pin 18, which is... Let's detach
Did
the
he say,
bird.
is this an Explorer Hat or Pro? Do we know?
It shouldn't matter. Oh,
It will
of course,
matter.
yeah, he
But-
does actually say Explorer Hat and not Pro. If he's got an Explorer Hat, then pin 18 is broken out onto PWM, isn't it? And that's what Unicorn Hat uses to drive NeoPixels.
Yeah, Explorer Hat doesn't have a header though.
But Explorer Hat does not have that header.
As long as it's the Pro.
assuming
If you
he's
haven't got a
that
Pro, you're not going to drive motors anyway, are you? In the robot.
You can
That's a
because
good
you've got the powered outputs,
Yeah,
so
that's
you
true.
can
Yeah.
single direction drive motors. But I'm going to assume it's with an Explorer Hat Pro because that's
Yeah.
the one that you would use for
Operate.
robotics normally.
Yeah.
In which case, like Phil says, pin 18 on this side header. Have you got the close up? Can you see that? Yeah, pin 18 is labelled PWM. And if you use our Unicorn Hat software, so the software that we use to drive our Unicorn Hat then you can run NeoPixels directly off that pin. So you can hook them up to the 5 volt. As long as you're not running too many, if it's like up to maybe 20 pixels, you could take your 5 volt tap off the 5 volt rail of the Explorer Hat Pro. You could take your PWM data off pin 18. You could use the Unicorn Hat software, and the Python examples could be modified to work with your setup. The only thing you might need to do is level shift the PWM pin up to
I've
5
got
volts.
lucky most of the
Most of the time it will work okay.
Yep.
You might need to, but you should be able to do it directly off the Explorer Hat Pro. Failing that, if you want to do it with the Trinket, probably the easiest way is to use UART or something.
Yeah, I've got actually a GitHub repository called Programming Trinket from Raspberry Pi that covers this exact thing, so it could well be worth drawing attention to that. But it's got a ridiculously long URL.
Doesn't that only let you program it though? It's not like a
No,
generic
that's got
UART stuff, is it?
an example for, let's have a look, programming.
Or serial comms.
It's got an example of serial comms specifically driving a thingy.
Do you know what the repo's called?
NeoPixels. It's programming dash trinket dash with dash raspberry dash pi. You can search for it in the root of GitHub. You search for.
Oh, I'm wrong.
You go back to. Oh, you're not signed in, are you?
Watch us live search.
There we go. Okay, drop us on here, Paul. This is it. There you go, Phil.
There we go.
Take it away.
So if you look at the top of the screen there, you've got the URL on GitHub.
This hasn't actually been updated for a while, so I'm going to have to run this on a Pi built this century and make sure it all does still work, but the general principles are there. The idea is you can actually wire up a Trinket to your Pi in such a way that you can program the Trinket from the Pi and upload code to it, and then you can wire up the serial or the I2C. I'm not sure which I use, but get into examples and have a look. And in here, here we go, I2C NeoPixels. So that example turns the Trinket into basically an I2C device.
Oh,
So you've got
this is
the-
So you
perfect
can hook it up to the I2C breakouts on here, which there are the SDA and SCL, and just use it to run your NeoPixels.
So this basically solves the whole problem.
It does, yes.
You might as well do it this way then.
So either or.
Well, this runs the NeoPixels. Does it have the serial though?
It uses I2C instead.
Well, this
of
uses
serial.
I2C, yeah.
But how do you tell the Trinket what to do?
This
I2C.
programs the Trinket.
Right, but then how do you tell the Trinket when you're about to hit something? You got the ultrasonic on your Pi.
I presume you
The
connect to
Trinket
it via
becomes
I2C.
becomes an I2C peripheral basically.
Oh, right,
And then
that's
you
all right
talk
then.
to it
Yeah,
like that.
you talk to it over. Yeah,
Magical.
I get it now.
So yeah, definitely take a look at that. PCs for me.
Sweet. And we had one question from last week that was left over.
Oh,
We did, didn't we?
Yeah, I forgot what it
That
was.
was on the back end of the episode 005. Oh no, I linked through to that, didn't I?
Yeah.
What did we have? ESP82. So, one question we missed. It's from. Doesn't have the name.
Go.
Okay, DBR on the forums. Says, I really love the stuff you guys make, and I sometimes think I should contribute back. Have you thought about having the tutorials on learn.pimoroni.com open to submissions and or available on GitHub, like with the code? Also, while we're on the topic of code, why on earth would you use tabs in Python source code? Yeah.
Yeah, let's address the first bit of that question first.
yeah.
Okay, thanks for loving our stuff. It's awesome. That answers that. How do you contribute to learn.pimoroni.com? At the moment, we curate who can contribute to that. So we have a small pool of people you know from the Pi community who, apart from Phil and John here, contribute tutorials to that.
Yep.
And you'll see their name by the articles. If you've got stuff to contribute, send us an example. And if you kind of write in a good style and write stuff that we think people would like to know about, we have no problems including your stuff on the learning portal.
Yeah, we'd love to actually. That would
yeah.
be awesome.
Really, because it makes us look good, makes you look good, everyone's happy. So have a look at the tutorials that are on there. Have a look at our GitHub repo behind the learning portal. Is that at all publicly visible?
No.
GitHub
Okay.
repo with the
Not
files
yet.
on is
Don't have a look at that.
because
So-
Google, I think, isn't it? Something
But if
like
you email us,
No, basically we don't have it publicly available yet. I think that's something we should aim to do.
yeah,
But it is the long part of the story. But at the moment, our learning portal is quite a nebulous project for us, and we're trying to improve it all the time and work out exactly how we can manage it. I think at some point they will be completely public repos, and we would encourage people to make pull requests, to raise issues if they see typos or errors in them.
Yeah.
Just at the moment, we're just not quite ready for that.
yeah.
So,
But if you've got something you want to contribute, email support@pimoroni.com and say, for attention of John, Paul, Phil, or whoever's doing Learn stuff today, I would like to contribute because I are awesome teacher of stuffs.
and if you'd like to complain about the use of tabs in Python, please email phil@pimoroni.com.
Yeah.
Don't mention Paul or I, we're not
There shouldn't
interested.
be any more
Right.
tabs in Python actually. I've been going through all of our code repositories in the run up to Christmas just to make sure they're all lickety split, nice and shiny, removing all tabs, tidying up silly things like checking equals false rather than saying if it's X, Y, and Z.
We'll just call you a linter from now on.
Yes.
Phil the linter.
Yeah, I've basically been manually linting the Python code, yeah.
Nailed it.
Phil Lint. Flint.
And
Flint.
also adding descriptions to examples. So when you run an example, the first thing you'll get is a printout that says, this example does this, expect this to happen, and Control-C to exit. So
And Python 3.
when people run examples, they
Python.
don't go,
Love you, Ben.
and Python 3. Bad,
You complete us.
Yeah. And Carrie Ann, actually. She's also been a
She also
massive
completes us.
proponent of Python 3. And because she kind of, she like runs Python now as well, doesn't she? I think she had a coup on the board of the Python.
Took over
Sorry.
Python.
Yeah, I've got a confession to make for Carrie Ann and Ben, actually, and that is that I've personally started only using Python 3. And that's probably because of them. But I still hate putting brackets around strings that I want to print out. That's it.
Right.
Print is a statement. That's it for us, I think.
That's everything we got for this week's, folks. So we'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye bye.